So look, if you want to grow your wealth, your income, and increase the amount of time off, then these are the shortcuts that can help. Welcome to the Wealth Creation Podcast. Then I just want to give you some quick advice really on what it is that you can do to improve your website. And if you need a hand with that, obviously we're here to come and give you a hand. So first up, in order to improve your Google search engine rankings, the first thing that you really need to be posting is relevant content. Now, there's two types of relevant content here. The first type of relevant content is stuff on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, like this, for example. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get links and backlinks to those particular pieces of content. But what tends to happen is that when you go live, for example, like this is, or when you're putting content out on that social media platforms with a call to action, that link then is recognized by Google when it points back to your website. So you actually get bonus points, if you like. We call it link juice, even though it might have a no follow tag or something like that. YouTube and Google, which is basically the same company, Google are looking at the links that are coming back from social media posts and people clicking on those and landing on the website. Google loves that kind of thing. So first up is that you've got to be posting out content. Obviously, we post a lot of content for ourselves and for our clients. But then in addition, the type of content that you need to be posting is you should be taking some of that content, you should be going over to your website and you should be embedding some of that content in your website. So for example, this particular video will go over to one of our SEO pages and be embedded. Google loves that type of stuff as well. And the more relevant content that you have both on social media platforms and on your website to drive traffic back to your website, Google absolutely loves that. And then interestingly as well, and I don't think this should really come as a surprise, but Google loves fresh content. Have you ever gone to a website and the website's not been updated and you're wondering, are these people even in business anymore? Google thinks the same. So whenever Google visits the website, it's looking to see what's been updated, what's not been updated. And if a website's not been updated for a year or two, which basically is most websites, right, then you're not going to rank as well as somebody else's website that is posting content, certainly on a weekly basis, ideally every couple of days, or wonderfully would be every single day. But you've got to have fresh content because Google loves fresh content. And when you're creating that fresh content, might be a blog post with 500 or 1,000 words or 2,000 words. It might be a deep dive into how to do something, whatever that thing happens to be in your business. But you've got to optimize the metadata. And metadata is just a fancy word, basically. You need, when you upload an image, you've got to call the image the right name. You've got to have an alt tag, so that if someone's, looking at your website without images switched on, which is something we used to do in the old days, when we didn't have the bandwidth that we do now. But Google looks at that as well. And so you need these alt tags in there. Your title's got to be right. You've got to put the keywords into the copy. But if you're just spamming the copy with lots and lots of the same keywords effectively. So plumbers in Leeds, for example, plumbers in Leeds, plumbers in Leeds, plumbers in Leeds. Google recognizes what you're doing. It's called keyword stuffing, and that'll actually rank against you, not for you. So you've got to optimize your metadata, and knowing how many times to use that specific keyword or similar kind of keywords is really, really important. And then obviously, finally, you've got to identify what are the keywords. And what we mean by this are, what keywords are people going to Google and typing into the Google search results? So, for example, if they're looking for a plumber because they've got a leak, it's 2:00 in the morning, a pipe's burst, and you're in Leeds 2, LS2, what are you typing on Google? Now, I think there's probably a good chance that you're typing emergency plumber LS2. So if you've got a web page that talks about being an emergency plumber in LS2, 24-hour call out, and you have enough content and you've optimized the metadata and you've got a lot of fresh content going out on your website, and Google are recognizing that you're posting on social media and it's optimizing your website to be found, then you're going to have a much better way of getting found on Google. Now, obviously, that's a lot of work to do, right? So if you do get stuck on that, just fill in a web audit in the box down below and then we'll come and help you. And if you want any further information, just come onto our website and give us a shout. All right, I hope you find that useful. We'll speak to you on the next one. Hey, it's Dan here. Thank you for listening. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Please click like or subscribe to the entire podcast.